Hi guys, Karen here. Today I'm creating a layout using this photograph of my younger daughter and this sketch. I went through all my papers that I got in my grab bag from HipKit and picked out these three that I thought went rather well together. This one I'm back in the photograph and it's from the Gather collection, and I just wanted to give it a little background. I didn't do any more layers than that. And then I spent a lot of time going through all these papers, trying to find a background, kept changing my mind about the papers and the background I was going to use, because I really wanted to do this photo justice, because it's such a beautiful photo of my daughter. It was taken at a photo shoot for her 18th birthday. It was a gift from her friends, and it's just such a lovely photograph, and I really wanted to make it beautiful, this layout. So I put myself under a lot of pressure just to kind of get it perfect, and spent a lot of time faffing around. Most of which I have cut out of this video, otherwise we'd be here all day. I had awful trouble trying to decide the colours, and I was going to do some mixed media, and then I wasn't sure that would work out. So in the end, I stuck with the sketch, and I did eventually find the background I wanted. I toyed with the idea of this background, but the colours weren't right. I didn't like the yellow. So I've ended up with a simpler background, but in the meantime I'm just trying to cut the papers to the right sizes to match the sketch. So the paper, the bow paper with the kind of pinky corally background is from the We Are Memory Keepers Honey I'm Home collection, and the teal stripy paper is from the Saturday collection by Dear Lizzie. And then I picked out another paper, this paper also from the Saturday collection, to do the circle, which goes behind the layers to the top right. And eventually I picked this navy blue background, and I liked that. I thought that really enhanced the photograph and it made it pop more, having that darker background. It's not something I do very often. I'm sort of toying here with the idea of a white background and the floral paper, which is one that I've used a lot. I've fussy cut from it a lot, but no, I wasn't. I didn't think that was. I thought it was too busy. This is a nice colour and not as busy as the other one. So I'm sort of getting there, so I've stuck with that circle. Now I'm trying some flowers, and I thought, oh, I like the flowers, because those flowers on the Little by Little collection, yeah, it's got a navy background. I thought, oh, perhaps those flowers would look quite good against the navy background that I've chosen. So I'm doing another circle to use behind the photograph. So I was really indecisive. I didn't know what I was doing really. So I decided I'd pick out this circle, and I'm using my EK Success circle cutter, which goes up to 6 inches. So I thought I'd use the largest size and cut that circle out, put in that position behind the photograph layer on the top right there. And then I thought it actually blended too much into the paper because of the navy background. So then I thought I'd do another circle out of this aqua-coloured cardstock to put behind my circle. And then, of course, because they're both the same size, I'm going to have to cut the floral circle down a bit to make it so that there is a little bit of a border either side of the teal cardstock. So I just had to line that up and try to cut just a little tiny border around it. So that's what I've done, just trimmed it off, and so there is just a little bit of that teal or mint showing behind the circle, the floral circle there. And I put it there, and I'm still not happy with it. I think I might want to make it look a little bit more fancy. It looks a bit plain around the edge. So then I was trying out some of my punches. I cut a circle in white, and I was trying out different punches, and I've picked this Martha Stewart punch. It's actually a corner punch. It's meant to be for a punch around the page, but I thought I'd use it to go around the circle. If you line it up really carefully, you can actually use these punches quite successfully to create a fancy border on a circle as well as on a square, which is what they're designed for, because it's obviously designed to go on a corner. So there it is. It's the completed item. I'm much happy with that. It looks a little bit prettier with that little bit of punched edge, and also it shows the cardstock through better as well. So yeah, I'm happy with that. That can go behind there. And then I'm looking at what I might do in that bottom right corner. There was on the sketch it just showed a little rectangle, but I didn't really want any more rectangles. I thought it's got enough of that. I wanted something softer. So I tried out those flowers, those paper flowers, but they were, or silky flowers, but they were too bulky. So I got out this punch. It's a punch and die set. So first of all, you punch and die. It's a stamp and die set. I always get those two mixed up. A stamp and die set. So first of all, you stamp your flowers onto your paper, or the other way around, because it's a rubber stamp. It's stuck to my glass mat, so I've done it the other way around and stamped on there. And then you line up the die onto where the stamped image is, and they cut out, and then you just layer them up. So that's what I've done. I've layered them up. I've put some pearls in the centres, and I do like those. I haven't used it for ages, and I've remembered I had it, and I thought, well, that's makes some nice flowers. Then I thought this piece of paper, this minty paper, was a bit plain and boring and flat, so I'm going to zhuzh it up. I've seen in a video I was watching by Kathy Martin, she did this effect all over her page of doing these ruffles. And I've done single ruffles before, but I thought I'd actually put ruffles over the whole strip, because when I watched her do it, I thought it was very effective. I couldn't face doing any more than this, because this took me absolutely ages to do. So I had to do about 4 layers, and I'm not the fastest at this sort of thing. So I cut out most of it, because it probably took me a good hour to get all these ruffles on. But I covered the whole thing, and I'm really happy how it turned out, using the tissue paper that comes in all the hip kits, and it's just such a pretty colour, and it went beautifully with that cardstock that I've used. So that really gave that strip a bit more of detail, a bit more of texture, and I really like that. Softens the whole thing. And then I'm just ruffling up the edges of my of the cardstock with the bows on to give that a bit more texture, and putting that on. So finally I'm committing to this design, and I'm sticking everything down now. So sticking down my background, and then that one as well is going to get stuck down as well. Right. Okay, yes, stick it down, girl. Come on. That's it. Right, so next I'm going to put some foam, some craft foam on the back, but only on the areas that either side of the ruffly strip, so that it sits flush. So I've just done a strip either side, because it's quite raised on that area, so I just wanted it to sit over that. So a bit of craft foam either end just makes it sit nice and flat. And now I'm doing my flowers. This takes me quite a long while to decide where I want the flowers and how many flowers. So I started off with the ones I made, you saw me make a little earlier, and just arranged them all around the bottom left corner of the photograph, and I'm really liking how they're looking. I've just curled them up a bit around the end of a paintbrush, so that they've just got all the petals have just got a little curl to them. It just gives them all a little bit of lift. And then this is some leaves I fussy cut out from more of that little by little paper, and some little flowers that I made to match the teal, or the minty colour. So I've sort of got two colour schemes going on the flowers. I've got some on the right which are all sort of pale aqua colours, and on the left I'm matching up with the pinky corally colour of the background paper there. And I'd stuck one up in the top left corner, and I thought it looked a bit odd just on its own. So I just kept going, making more flowers and more flowers, more in the coral colour, more in the aqua colour, and I thought I'll try them out, see how they look, see whether it looks okay to have some of those minty coloured ones in the middle there. And trying them out, mixing them up together, and I thought, actually no, I don't really like the way that looks. It looks a bit sort of odd having that different colour in the middle. So I just needed more to take more the rest of those flowers all down the left hand side, and I made a couple in a slightly deeper colour, but I wanted to keep the colour scheme look better if it was all one colour going down that side. So I kept sticking it in. Well, I'm just placing them in to see how they look first of all, and I've got a few other little flowers there, some little ready-made ones that I had in a pack in my stash I've had for ages, and I'm just popping them in just to fill up, to give a little bit more texture, a bit of variation. And there we are. I'm just sticking the last few down. I had photographed my placement, which is why the camera's up there, just to check where they were all going to go, so I could just take them off and put them back on again in more or less the same place. So just tucking in the last few there, and I thought that looked quite. I was quite happy with that. I do love an array of flowers. I haven't really done a lot of flower layouts, apart from one I did a few weeks ago, and so the last few on the bottom right hand corner there, just to match with the ruffles. And now I'm doing the title, and it's just Beautiful You. And I just found in my stash this little scalloped piece of gold, which I thought went rather well with the gold lettering of the title. I think the Beautiful comes from the Oasis collection. That was some gold words that came with that. And the U is from some thickers in my stash. And I put myself on a lot of pressure, as I said, to make this layout as beautiful as I could. And I have since shown it to my daughter, and she loves it. So I'm really happy that she's seen it and she's happy with it. Just adding some sequins there, picking out a few sequins, and then I thought, oh no, I need to do the date. So I just found cut a little tab there, and I've used some stickers, some letter stickers from my stash. They're in a teal, so they blend in quite well with the colour scheme. And I'm just putting the date there, just the month and the year that this photo was taken. Just popping it on there and then tucking it in at the side. That's it. Just tucking it in and sticking it down so that it just pokes out the side of the photo there, so you can see when it all happened. And now I'm going to carry on sticking on some sequins, just laying a few on. See how they look. Gives a little sparkle to the page, a bit of a finishing touch. And I found a few more. I think the first lot were from one of the Paige Evans collection. That's the other, and then I've got a few from the Doodlebugs. They're from Doodlebug. These little sequins. They come in little pots. So there we are. Back next is more or less pretty close to the sketch in the end. I swapped the title over for the journaling. I put the title where the journaling was shown to be, but otherwise it's pretty close to the sketch. I did go away a bit off piece there, but I hope you liked it, and please give me a like and subscribe if you did. Thanks very much for watching. Goodbye.